Massive thanks to the mad lads and ladies supporting the channel. The doggos say thanks. What in tarnation? What? Okay. Yeah. Hey everyone, it's time for some more Monster Hunter, and today I wanted to talk about why I believe companies need so much money. Now, I will preface this by saying what I'm about to talk about, or what I'm saying, is basically a theory, for lack of a better word. It's kind of a conspiracy theory more than anything, but it is based in fact, and it is based in reality. So, what I want to talk about is why companies seem to want all the money instead of just some of the money. And the reason why I came to this conclusion is because of two things. Partly because of Valve, and partly because of, believe it or not, the real estate market. So, the reason why I think companies need so much money is kind of a similar thing with how, like, rich people in general get money. What they'll do is they'll borrow and use what they have as assets to counteract that, to borrow, you know, more money than they really have. And they kind of do that in sort of a never-ending loop. Basically, they exploit the system into a sort of Ponzi economics type of thing. And it sucks that it is that way, but that's just how the banks let people do it. But that said, is the reason why a lot of people do that is, I know it happens a lot in, like, house flipping, for example. They'll borrow money from the bank for house flipping, and then they'll use that money to flip the house and sell it for more money, and just kind of do that on the loop. Now, when it comes to corporations, and especially in gaming, obviously, you know, I'm speaking in terms of the Nintendo price hikes and things of that nature, but when it comes to borrowing money and, you know, charging more money, I guess, and why companies need to charge more money, in my opinion at least, is partly because they kind of have to. So if you look at a company like Valve, they're still private. They have continuous sales. They have, you know, outside of the customer protection laws that they really seem to struggle with, you know, participating in. Oh, well, that's not good. But Valve will actually, you know, constantly provide Steam sales and bundles, and they'll constantly be doing stuff that's just good for the consumer and good for the customer. And the reason why they'll do that is because they really don't have any shareholders to invest, or not invest, to please. I mean, obviously they also have a stranglehold in the PC market where it's basically a monopoly, but I would prefer it be a private company that can do things like ban AI in video games, and, you know, a company that will ban advertisements in video games, than, you know, a company like EA. So when it comes to companies in general and how they make money, a lot of their income actually comes from shareholders. This is why companies gotta please shareholders, I believe, is because the companies don't actually have a lot of money to stand on their own 2 feet without shareholders. Now, whenever a company goes public, they basically open themselves up to investors. What people can do is they can pay for effectively a percentage in the company in order to help make decisions for it. And what these companies will do is they'll borrow money outside of their means from the investors that the company itself doesn't have. And also, you know, don't get me wrong, they also pretty much give all their money to to executives and stuff like that. Like, let's not even pretend that's not a factor. They absolutely give all their money to executives. Because, you know, like I said, executives are rich. Like, there's just no doubt about it. Executives and CEOs, they pretty much give millions, tens of millions of dollars a year to executives and CEOs. So that is a major part of the performance budget, or of the game's budget, or of a company's budget, in order to effectively, you know, keep the company running and have them make decisions to make the company money. Now, so that's like half of the problem right there. But the other reason why is because, like I said, when it comes to investors, the reason why companies have to please them so hard and so much, in my opinion, where the line always has to be going up, is because the companies couldn't survive without them. Now, when it comes to shareholders and investors, you know, obviously they put money into the company in order to keep it running and keep it operational. However, because of that, it leads to a situation where most of the money in a lot of the largest companies comes from shareholders and borrowing money and investors, which I guess is just shareholders, And because of that, it effectively means that if, you know, they have a dip in the performance and the shareholders all pull out, we're going to have another Ubisoft situation. And that's why Ubisoft is trying to go private, it's so they don't have to please investors anymore. And also so they can, it's partly for PR, so, or that's why they were trying to go private. It's partly because, you know, they don't have to please investors anymore and shareholders, and they can kind of just do what they want. The, what is it, Romaine Brothers or something like that? And also partly because they can hide their earnings to obfuscate, you know, how little they're actually making, so people will be more, be more incentivized to invest in them based on pedigree and name alone. However, when it comes to the investors and pleasing the investors, if the investors all pull out, the company is going to go broke. And then don't get me wrong, the executives will all have their money, but they won't have even more money coming in. So the way I see it, a company like Steam is very complacent and lazy, so they don't really care. But when it comes to like game companies, the reason why they're trying so hard to make so much money, in my opinion at least, is because they have to please the investors, they have to please the shareholders, because if they don't, and the line doesn't always go up, they're worried that everybody's going to pull out, and then the whole company is going to crash, just like Ubisoft. But yeah, this is probably just a quick little yap video today. It's just something that I had a little opinion on, that's a little conspiracy theory I had floating around in my head. At the very least, it makes sense to me why they would always be trying so hard to make more and more money. Because the more money they make, the more they make the line go up, the more money that shareholders will invest in the company, or the investors will put into the company, the more money the executives get paid, and, you know, the upper management, which is a key part of that, which is, you know, another reason for that, and also the last chance that everybody's going to pull out and effectively make the company go bankrupt. But yeah, I think that's everything I want to talk about today. If you like the video, leave a like on it, comment down below if you want to see more, if you want to see me yapping more, and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Keep in mind that I do still need to finish Monster Hunter 1 once I finish with that. Some people have been saying they want to see me play Dragon's Dogma 2. Let me see what game you want me to play before I start Monster Hunter G next. Just something to kind of spice it up and put in the middle there. I have 20 each Monster Hunter game. That said, if you want to support the future of the channel, check out my Patreon link in the description below. And if you want to join the community of people who play Monster Hunter as well, or just people who you can hang out, chat, anybody's welcome. Check out my Discord link in the description below as well. Just make sure you're respectful of the rules, respectful of everybody there, and yeah, just be a respectful person, and anybody will be welcome. I think that's everything. That's it. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.